everybody. You're watching the Monica Makes It Happen show. It is Money Matters Monday. And we say it like this: money matters. And it's all thanks to our partners at JP Morgan Chase, Goya, and Ponce Bank, yet again, signing on to help our viewers will get resources, information that can really change their lives. And talking about changing lives and changing communities, I'm a big fan of this next guest. Alex Zablocki joins us, the executive director of the Public Housing Community Fund. I feel like you have been on my show more than a dozen times. I've seen you at finished basketball courts. I've seen you, you're everywhere. It was a graduation, I think, that I last saw you, right, Alex?
You came to our swim corps graduation last summer, but Monica, I just want to thank you and this show and this platform for doing so much for the residents of public housing in our city, and to your sponsors for supporting such excellent coverage within our communities.
Well, you know all about good partnerships, and we're excited to talk about this $15 million that is all because of this incredible program that empowers NYCHA residents across our city to really, I guess, strategize and be a part of what their community looks like. It's really about imagination and manifestation and all this goodness. And it's because of you, Alex. You're leading the way.
Well, Monica, the team extends far beyond me, and especially the residents of public housing, but you hit the nail on the head. We've been fortunate enough to work with philanthropic partners that see opportunity in NYCHA and investment as a real way to improve the lives of 500,000 New Yorkers living in public housing. And the $15 million you reference is just the start and a fraction of the work we do here at the Public Housing Community Fund, but it's leading to transformational change across all 5 boroughs as we reimagine through a resident-led process how to design open spaces to meet the needs of residents, young and older adults, as well as bring new types of play equipment and spaces to communities, but also includes vibrant art within the 5 boroughs. And we are now investing in renovating community spaces, building new computer labs. We're changing the face of the way community centers look and feel, and it's all due to resident voices and resident leadership and our partners in philanthropy and elected officials who have also provided support.
Alex, I need to know your story. I think people need to know your story. You're like the Energizer Bunny. Maybe they can sponsor a lot of your programs, but you really, this is your heart and soul. This is your passion. This is your purpose. Why is that? Can we just start off with you first for a second and then go into this $15 million and all these incredible things that I've seen firsthand? I didn't even know actually it was connected communities, but then I went to Patterson Houses. I saw a new playground and they're like, oh, it's connected, communities. So I find out about you just, oh, you're everywhere.
Monica, well, I'm a native New Yorker. I love our city, and the residents of public housing remind me a lot of my neighbors when I grew up. My family themselves lived in public housing for 11 years back 1954 to 65. Friends in Cooper Park. Give a shout out to them in Brooklyn.
I didn't know that about you. See, I've known you for years and you've been on my show. That's why this is so important. I did not know that about you.
Well, and that's my family history. But I think as New Yorkers, we all have a connection to public housing, or at least as we've learned, especially in this latest political movement, the importance that housing plays in our city and how affordable housing is so key and vital to a vibrant and diverse city. And it ensures that all of us have an opportunity to succeed and thrive in a city we love, the greatest city in the world. And we want to make sure that those folks living in public housing specifically have the best quality of life and opportunity afforded to them so they can see economic mobility, raise a family, or live a life of dignity if they're older, and get to enjoy everything that we can enjoy in New York City and ensure that they have access to everything that I was privileged enough to grow up with, going to a Broadway show or a wonderful park or going to a nice restaurant with my family. So the extension of the way that I was raised and sort of my upbringing and just experience as a New Yorker shines through the work we do, but I'm also fortunate to be surrounded by incredibly dedicated team members, an engaged board, and work with incredible public servants at the New York City Housing Authority in order to do this work. And it gives us that opportunity to give back in ways that I think were just dreamed of a few years ago or a decade ago. We were founded in 2016. And we're seeing the fruits of that labor come to fruition in many ways and in all corners of New York City. And just finally, Monica, in terms of the residents of public housing, I'm just touched every single day to receive a text message, as I know you are, around blessings and just people asking, how are you doing? They're not always asking for help or support. Sometimes they just check in and want to know how things are. And it's beautiful to be part of this NYCHA family, because I think in this city, we often don't recognize that as this city within a city that's thriving, and we don't understand it. But once you're a part of it, it's something that you never want to leave and you're grateful for. So I think that's what drives me. And as you said earlier, Energizer Bunny, I think I'm fueled by that love and compassion, support, and also determination of our volunteer leaders that we'll hear from one today that do so much for the communities they serve.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Maria. Our favorite people in the world are tenant association presidents. I think they run the city. They run it, okay? And Alex, I feel like you're a kindred spirit. I feel like, when people see me, they hopefully think help, hope. And when they see you, especially NYCHA residents, they know help, hope, and funds for their for their passion projects. And, I think the $15 million is so exciting because I've already seen it in action. And specifically, remember the Castle Hill dog park? That was incredible that you made that happen, Alex. We walked around, remember, with all the beautiful puppies.
Absolutely.
And it was just one of those incredible things that you're making happen with the funds, finding all of this incredible funding for these incredible projects. And it's all resident led.
It's all of it is resident led. Usually the ideas and the initial concepts even come from residents. It's the first part of our From Imagine to Activate toolkit that we put out last year in order to give a 5-step guide to NYCHA resident leaders, philanthropy, and elected officials on how to do this work. But you mentioned a few things about sort of the spirit, passion, and culture of what we do here at the Public Housing Community Fund. But we also put the fun in fund. Literally with the money and also the work that we do. And you mentioned the dog park up at Castle Houses, and you see the joy that brings. And what we should focus more on, especially in the work that we do in communities that had faced decades of disinvestment, trauma. Unfortunately, we know that they face gun violence at a higher rate and other issues. Is that we can also bring fun and joy to communities. And that's what a lot of these projects do. And I think once residents get involved in designing, whether they're using Play-Doh to create a play space, or they're putting sticky notes on a board, or they're raising their voice and using their voice to say what they really want, or for the first time ever, this January, we led a sensory design workshop for young kids with autism and their families. So they would have a safe, quiet space to design a brand new sensory garden and sensory playground. It's funded by Congressman Richie Torres.
Wait, was that in the Bronx?
$750,000 project, and it's at Morrisania Air Rights.
Yes.
And, it's things like that, Monica.
I should have known it was you. I should have known it was you. Because I heard about it, and we covered it how it looked before, and it was danger. It was a danger to the children in that community, and it also is led by a mom. It's always a mom making it happen, and her son who is living with autism, and she led the way. I think her name's Tanya, right? Is it Tanya?
Tanya Pedler, and Monica, yeah, most of our resident leaders are women, and we love our dads. We love the guys that are also running NYCHA resident associations, but the overwhelming majority are women. You see moms and aunts stepping up and really trying to bring about change and bring those resources to their community, shine a light on the issues they have, but also talk about all the great things they do. And that's what's so exciting. So through our resident-led process, like at Castle Hills Dog Park with Miss Jeanette Salcedo as the tenant leader there, or Miss Pat Simpson at Patterson Houses, where we delivered with Center for Justice Innovation 2 new playgrounds, an accessible fitness zone, and a brand new basketball court, also brought to the community with Hoop Bus. Tanya Pedler was mentioned in our city air rights. We have Tamika Williams, the tenant leader over at Promenade Houses, where we're bringing them a splash pad, thanks to Congresswoman Grace Meng. That's actually out for request for proposal right now for contractors. And at Harborview Terrace Houses, we're working with Miss Maria Guzman, another strong leader there that brought her community together. We're redeveloping the entire campus as open space on the west side of Manhattan. And there's so many other projects, and most roads lead to strong women who have volunteered their time. They are not paid, and they keep their community together, and they keep it thriving.
I don't think I've smiled this much during a show. Alex, you have made me smile this. I'm like smiling. It's coming through my face. That's how big my smile is. You've made me so happy just that last 5 minutes. Now, coming up though, I want to talk more with Alex because you ain't heard anything yet. Now the future is bright because they have this money. Alex, you are all about funding for our residents and ideas and making things happen. So coming up after the commercial break, we're going to talk a little bit about those 5 things you can do because you can get involved. That's after the break. Okay, we're back with one of my favorite people in the entire world, Alex Zablocki, the Executive Director of the Public Housing Community Fund. If you haven't heard about what the Public Housing Community Fund is, well, you got to figure it out right now and check it out because it's online. Alex, how do we reach you?
You can go to communityfund.nyc. You can find us on Instagram at communityfundnyc or on X at communityfundny. We're accessible through social media or website. You send us an email, we respond pretty quickly. And you could also give us a call.
Love it. And secret thing that I want to tell people is if I need a story, I just go on your Instagram. There's a million stories right there that we could be telling that are so wonderful and good news for a change, good news about our communities. We love that. But first of all, how do people get involved? They're watching this, they live in public housing and they're thinking, I want something in my community. I want to be a part of this. How do they do that? And you said there's a 5-step process that's pretty easy to do.
There is. So last year we put out a guide. It's called From Imagine to Activate. It's available on our website, communityfund.nyc/open space. And this guide is easy to follow. We've basically broken down the process of imagining a project. So having a dream. What do I want to do in my community? How do I want to use open space to improve the quality of life, safety, or bring together the residents in a way that I feel is meaningful? So we imagine an idea. We then work on partnership, bringing together funders. We may already have funding. So if a resident leader or even a resident wants to reach out, we might have funding available or we pitch it to donors. And then we work directly with those residents and professionals to design the space once we land the funding. And then we build those projects. We deliver them in record time, sometimes within a few months. This is not like your typical city capital process where it may take 3 to 5 years to see your project come to fruition. We are bringing Projects Monica online in very few months to up to a year, depending on complexity. And it not only goes for open space projects, but we are now doing work within community centers, renovating community rooms. Thanks to Amazon, we're bringing computer labs at scale to all 5 boroughs. And we are focused more on art and bringing out the culture of NYCHA within these spaces, all also resident-led, where we're installing murals, sculptures, and we have some exciting announcements that we'll be bringing forward in communities soon.
Alex,
around really unique artwork coming to NYCHA.
You're amazing. I mean, I just love, this is music too. You have to be a regular on our show, maybe like a co-host, because we have to somehow see it from the start. It's so visual for TV purposes. Like I love everything you do is so visual, and that's what I'm attracted to, is that you can really see the change, not just in the community, but in the people, right? In the neighborhood, in the neighbors, the people that live. It just opens them up. It makes people smile. It changes their lives to have a beautiful space and to look at a beautiful space. And can I just give a shout out? People don't maybe know this, but if they follow on Instagram, we have Carmen Quinones, who is a regular on our show, a tenant president who we love. She's incredible. And she was robbed at the start of the year of everything that she was collecting for the children in her community. Can you believe that? It took her so long to get all this stuff. And then, she texts me this picture of Alex smiling in her community room. And Alex, I guess, had seen the story, or I don't know how you found out. Maybe Carmen told you. And you just showed up, and you showed up with like a truckload of things for the children, coats, hats, everything. I mean, the resources that she lost, and probably even more that she lost. See, that's how it works, right, Alex? Is when bad things happen, the community comes together, and it makes lemons. Is it lemonade out of lemons? I think that's what you did.
Oh, absolutely. Look, first off, Carmen is an incredible leader at Douglas Houses. And she worked on this coat drive for residents of our community in order to keep kids warm and older adults. And then had a giveaway for the holidays for gifts that we participated in. When we heard the news that the coats were stolen, we immediately sprung into action. Thanks to our donors and partners, we did deliver over 100 coats, gift cards, and we made sure those supplies were in her hands before the major snowstorm that hit our city. Now feels like a few weeks ago, but about a week or 10 days ago. And that's what we're here to do. So the Public Housing Community Fund is here to support residents through our main programs that we help deliver. We do a lot more than open space work and art programming. We have workforce development programs, youth leadership programs. We provide college scholarships. We have financial empowerment programs. We also support healthy living at NYCHA. But when NYCHA residents need resources, they know they can reach out to us, and our team is here to try to assist either directly or connect with partners to bring those resources to communities.
Well, Alex, I know we've talked about this in the past, but I think there has to be a partnership here where we tell these stories on a regular basis. And may I say, maybe even you co-hosting a show, because I have all these shows now. I don't know if you heard, we have our weekly Monica Makes It Happen TV show. I always joke we do TV too, but it's really on the digital. We have the 1.3 million Facebook followers and almost a 500,000 on Instagram. And you have so many followers too. I just feel like I want to scream from the rooftops the work that you're doing. So hopefully this will be a partnership this year that we can make happen. But Alex, I can't thank you enough. And coming up, or actually one last, what's a message of hope before we meet Maria in our next block?
Well, the message of hope is that there are good things happening in our city. And in times of darkness, we can find moments of light. And I think right now, with the political situation that we see in Washington and the challenges that so many are facing around affordability, is that there are good people out there that want to fund positive things with our city. And there's nonprofits like ours and so many others, and then wonderful people, New Yorkers, salt of the earth, good people, leaders who are volunteering their time. So the message of hope is that there is optimism out there and people still leading the way despite all the challenges we face. And sometimes we just have to tell their story and give them a platform, Monica, like you've offered them, in order to let more people know what good things are happening out there. We want to turn on that news. We don't want to always hear that negative story.
Exactly.
There's a lot of good stories to tell. And I think that leads to optimism and positivity, especially in the communities we serve, and hopefully more to come.
Right. Thank you. We adore you. You're such a friend, and to public housing residents, but also to our show. Thank you so much, Alex. And hopefully this is the start of a wonderful relationship for 2026 of telling these incredible stories that you're kind of just, you're just this angel that comes in sometimes and really works with the community and changes things up so that, well, we're feeling good. We feel good about all these different projects, but we want to talk to the people who are really making it happen with you, Alex, and that's the tenant association presidents and the families. So after the commercial break, thank you, Alex, for joining us. We're going to meet one of those tenant leaders and talk about one of these incredible places that were completely, I mean, the before and after photos are bananas. That's after the break. And we're we're back. It's the Monica Makes It Happen show. It's Money Matters Monday. We are always about our tenant association presidents and the community and the real community champions who are making it happen. And while I am so lucky that she's here, Maria Guzman is here. She joins us, the president of the Harborview Resident Association. Maria, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we just spoke to Alex, and boy, his energy is off the charts, and he has a lot of great news for public housing residents all across the city. But we want to really zero in on what happened at your development. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened there and how you made it happen?
Well, after Alex, it's very hard to come on because it's very little left to tell. But I'll tell you, when I met Alex, I was in the middle of a very difficult time in our lives. I had just recently lost my son to an aneurysm, and it was heartbreaking. But Alex called a meeting and pitched an idea that someone had because some neighbor of ours in the residency where we live had noticed that our basketball court was in dire need of help. And it was really run out of, we had no hoops, we had no floor. I mean, it was really a dangerous space. So Alex pitched the idea, and honestly, it made me cry because that was one of my son's dreams, that basketball court redone. I still have
my
audio.
Gosh. Maria.
The audio message he left me like a week before saying, get the permits from NYCHA, Mom. I'm going to get people to come in and make this basketball court a basketball court again. And of course, when Alex told me this, I was like, we're in. I don't know how we're going to do it. He told us we had very little time. We needed to get tenants involved. And I said, don't worry about it. I'm on it. And we were on it. We got tenants involved. We got community members involved. And I think we did this, Alex, in less than 2 months, right?
2 months?
2 months.
That's unheard of. That's unheard of.
And, we worked around something that the residents at a meeting came up with, and it was two words, we belong. We belong. So we are here. So we wrote that all around the basketball court. And how many languages, Alex? In all the languages we could think of. Because we are a very mixed community.
Yeah.
We had old ladies on wheelchairs with their walkers come in, sit on their wheelchairs and their walkers and help us paint or scrape the walls. It was amazing. We had Alex climb the trees that NYCHA would not trim. We had Alex actually, Alex is more than anything he thinks he is.
Yeah,
I
know
him
that.
My guardian.
I know that.
I call him our guardian angel.
I just called him an angel, and I didn't know how he was going to handle it because I was I think of him as an angel too.
Our guardian angel as well.
Angel. He's the NYCHA guardian angel. NYCHA guardian angel.
Yes, he is.
What's your son's?
Also have
Maria, what's your son's name? What's your son's name?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Or
so
Joey.
It's Joey's court, right? It's Joey's basketball court, and it is the most beautiful basketball court I think I've ever seen.
It is. Every time I look at it, my heart is full of joy because I know that was a dream he had, and we made it happen, even though I had no idea. I've had dreams of my son playing in the court already, and it's really fulfilling. But, that wasn't the only thing. We have a community garden that Alex has generously helped us, build so we can have produce that we plant and give out to tenants. We had the dream of making our playground a better place. Harborview has almost no space, public space. The space is tiny. It's not like other developments that have a lot of room and, parks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All we have is the basketball court, and we had what we thought it was a playground, but really wasn't. And we're in the middle of transforming it into a beautiful space with a senior, fitness center area, which I hope to use in the spring. We have equipment there that I don't know if I'm going to be able to use because of my age. I don't want to risk it. Yeah. But we also have visual equipment for the autistic children in our development. We are really incredibly grateful to the public fund. NYCHA has thought of a group that's really being forgotten, that's children and youth. You got to give youth and children something to do so they don't do things you don't want them to do.
Yeah.
And that's what we're aiming at.
Maria, I think you could run for office. I would vote for you in a hot second. You and I love that you're a mom, again, making it happen for the memory of your son. And I'm always so touched by the work of the Public Housing Community Fund, but this story is what really hopefully our viewers are just going to really understand the impact that this organization has, and that community champions like yourself, the tenant association presidents, that make it happen because it's their community, it's their neighborhood, it's their families. So one last message, because we do have to wrap up, because I think that we have another show coming in here. Can you just tell me, your message to someone watching, if they live in public housing and they have ideas that they want to make come true, they have dreams for their communities, what do you want them to know?
I would like them to know that their community belongs at the front door of their development, and you need to really become part of it. If you want to make a change, you got to become part of the change. We are living in dark times, and in the middle of all that, just like Alex said, there is light. NYCHA seems like a dark place sometimes, but NYCHA has hope. And, it's people like the Public Fund and their supporters that are helping us stay here, thrive, and become better people, keeping our buildings beautiful and keeping our buildings useful to our tenants and our neighbors in our community is what makes it happen.
Did you say make it happen? You did.
Make it happen.
You make it happen, Maria. And Alex, you make it happen. And of course, our viewers are making it happen. And thanks for being on our show. Don't forget to follow the Public Housing Community Fund on Instagram. I always do, because they are, if you just want to feel good and see what's happening that's good in our communities, that's what you do. And don't forget to always watch our shows right here on Pix 11 on TV2. I say we have a new time slot, 11 a.m. on Mondays. Don't forget, also 4:30 p.m. And reach out to me if you need some help at Monica Morales TV. We're making it happen together. See you all next time. Bye.